I'm off the wall, off the charts, better than Billie Jean. I might be outside, still on the winning team. They're robbing everybody, don't let them steal your dreams.
You're locked in with Atlanta's hottest hip-hop station. The Hype 87.3.
That's right. It is your girl, TampaMystic, and we are live right here in ATL on the Hype 87.3. And today, look who I got with me.
Hello.
This beautiful young lady, RedMic. What is going on, beautiful?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me again.
Of course.
Got some new things to talk about.
It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. So like you said, we got some new things to talk about. So we're going to just dive right on in. Before we get into everything new, I just want to ever so slightly touch on the fact that, you've lived everywhere, all around the world because of your mother's military background.
Correct.
Is that an inspiration for you? Like where you draw inspiration from when it comes to your music?
Yeah, I met a lot of new people, different cultures, just people with great energy.
Yeah.
And, as a kid, you absorb so much. And then as you get older, you reflect back. And I've had a good life, so to speak, single parent household, but traveling, the world wasn't so cold, so to speak.
Yeah, I love it. Tell everybody what originally drew you to wanting to create music.
I wanted to be a songwriter.
Yeah.
Like Babyface, Neo. I wanted to just write everybody's hits, make a good living. And then I said, well, maybe I can, be an artist. I wanted to sing. My voice is not really melodic. And I just started practicing on my rhyming. And people say you should rhyme because your singing voice is not that great. Maybe you should just rhyme because you do know how to write.
Yeah.
So I just focused on my flow, confidence. And it took a while, but I got it.
I love that. I love the fact that you take, the constructive criticism, as they call it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, trust me, I couldn't hold a note if someone had a gun to my head and said, hold a note.
Right.
I can't rap either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I commend you for doing what really works for you and what feels good for you because you are a dope lyricist.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Tell everybody where the name RedMic came from.
I started off as Red Light. Just, stop, look, and listen. And a few people had Red Light. And when I started the name, it was kind of hard to get out, my music because other people, different parts of the world had it.
Yeah.
And so me and my producer at the time, he was like, okay, Red Light, Red. He's like, maybe we should just call you RedMic. And I was like, okay, yeah, I like it. Not too much of a difference.
Yeah.
And, the mic check, MC. So I just said, okay, we'll go by RedMic.
I love it.
Yeah.
It just has such a catch to it,
Thank you.
only RedMic, super, super dope. Most definitely. Well, let's talk about this new single. We ain't going to play it just yet. We're going to save that a little bit later, but we want to build the anticipation. Your latest single is called Off the Wall.
Yes.
Pays homage to, of course, the legend himself, Michael Jackson.
Yes.
What inspired you the most about his artistry, his energy? We know he's the GOAT, but what was it for you?
I think, Michael Jackson, one word to describe him is innovator. And, he had trouble back in the day, MTV playing his videos. Innovator. You couldn't ignore it.
Yeah.
Everybody else was tuned in and people just had to let him through the gates and he took off. The whole family. It was just a great story. Great story. And I think Mike singing, dancing, writing, and he was so humble. He was so humble.
That he was. I feel like he was, in my opinion, probably the biggest artist of my lifetime.
Yes.
And like you said, he stayed so humble, even though everybody, I don't feel like there's anybody on this earth who didn't know who MJ is or was, I say is because he's he left his legacy and he's a legend. There's even little kids who know who Michael Jackson is. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the message behind Off the Wall is about staying positive through life's chaos because that could be difficult. What personal experiences for you inspired the theme?
I feel like life is, it's ever changing. And I think that people might be clinically sane, sober, but they're just strung out on life and the stress. And you have to have an abundant mindset. I feel like there's people going through a lot, and I had some setbacks. I had many, many setbacks, but I still kept whatever little progress I could for my music, and things were happening, just not happening when I wanted them to. So I just focused on having an abundant mindset, no matter family, job. In this industry, you need money to progress. And so I had a few setbacks, but I just kept it going.
And I feel like the biggest thing of that is recognizing it. Mm-hmm. Because, like, I don't know if you've seen the Breakfast Club interview the other day with Gucci and his wife, Keisha Kier, and they talk about the episodes that he had. And I feel like a lot of people will never admit to that they go through things. They may not have episodes like he did, but we go through stuff.
Right.
And I feel like the biggest thing is recognizing it, admitting to it, and figuring out a way to work with it or work through it or work around or something.
Yes, I agree.
Absolutely. That is beautiful. So we talked about this last time, but it was on the other platform. So I want to dive in a little bit. You traveled all the way to Lagos, Nigeria, to record your Afrobeats EP.
Yes, I did.
Chasing Destiny.
Correct.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Culturally, it's very different, I'm sure. I've never been there, but I know it's beautiful. Do you feel like you would have gotten the same vibe in that if you had recorded it here versus there?
I don't think I would have got the same energy.
Yeah.
When you touch down in Africa, there's a certain peace that comes over you. And, when I got in the car, we're driving through the streets and I'm seeing all the people. It was just eye-opening, because that's probably one of the places the whole world hears about, and it's not necessarily great. But being in Lagos, Nigeria, I was like, wow, I can't believe I am over here. The people, the energy, driving through the streets and just looking around. I really think I wouldn't have got the same experience meeting a Nigerian producer in Atlanta and staying here, because I know this energy, but it was so different over there being an American.
Did you go there with the intentions of recording an Afrobeats EP, or did that kind of come on a whim once you got there?
No, before I even got there, I was invited. I got a message on Instagram saying, hey, you ever thought about doing Afrobeat? And this is, Burna Boy, Ashake, Tim's, they're all popping over here, having major success. And I was like, I want to approach it the right way. I don't want to be generic. And I was like, yeah, I'm interested. I've been listening to these artists. And me and him just started talking about a time frame when I would come out there, what to expect. And I started just writing music geared towards positive energy, living, loving, and just, being an abundant mindset. And I went over there and recorded 5 records. Chasing Destiny was the go-to song, because I felt like I was doing that literally. I quit my job that I had been at for 2 years, and I just went, didn't look back. Sometimes that leap of faith, you just have to know that it's going to be okay.
You are absolutely right. And I don't necessarily believe in like looking into the past, but we'll say in hindsight, do you feel like you made the right decision leaving your job, going there? No regrets?
I do think I made the right decision. When I got there, the plan changed. People weren't who they say they were, but I wasn't in any danger. And I feel like that was my main concern. Me being an American, a woman, I stand out. They know I'm not Nigerian.
Yeah.
But everything worked out. I stayed calm. I went off on that guy, but I did stay calm, and I wasn't in any danger. Like, it was a peaceful surrounding, so to speak. And the residency I was staying in, that manager looked out for me. And I was supposed to be there. I anticipated 3 months. I think I was there 3 weeks. So it changed really, really quick. But the manager, his name was Destiny. And
wow, look at that.
And before I left, I said, what is your name? I appreciate you looking out for me. He made sure I had Wi-Fi, food. And he said, my name is Destiny. And I was just like, are you kidding me? So yeah, when I heard that, I said, okay, this is supposed to be. Wow. What a coincidence.
Absolutely. Even though it didn't work out exactly how you thought it was, I feel like it worked out how it was supposed to, if that makes sense.
Yes. I got exactly what I needed. The producer of the EP, Jay Sings, talented guy, and we just knocked out those songs. And I'm so glad that I did it, because it's right there if you want to hear it.
And now Jay Sings is a part of the team.
Yes, he is a part of Architect Music Group. When I got back, I just told him, hold on to the production, because I do need to pay him, because my money got funny because things changed when I was over there. But I said, hold on to it. I will pay you for the production. We created something special, and your name is on this. I said, don't give these beats away. I said, I wrote great records. We vibed, and he just held on to it for a whole year. After I got back, he waited, and I finally got my job, another job, sent him the money, and everything started rolling.
Again, I feel like everything it was destiny.
Yes.
Truly, it happened exactly the way. Are you planning on going back there anytime soon?
I do want to go back to Lagos and experience, the nightlife. We went to the beach and I had some Jollof, but I do want to go back and see the side, Burna Boy, Davido, get to enjoy the nightlife, the partying, because I didn't get to see that part, but I do want to go back.
What track from Chasing Destiny do you feel like means the most to you, and why?
The song itself, there's a song called Chasing Destiny, and I'm talking about the unknown. You're moving forward, you're not sure what's ahead, but you can't stay stagnant, and just holding your head high. I wrote that record with a lot of peace of mind. I was listening to a lot of Ashake, and I said, okay, I'm chasing destiny. I'm going to Lagos, Nigeria. I was just manifesting. I was fully manifesting because I'm going somewhere I've never been. I don't have any family. So I got to keep a positive mindset.
Absolutely. And I feel like, again, God had everything perfectly aligned for you as it was supposed to be, even though it could be a little bit of overwhelming going to a whole new country by yourself, like you said, as a woman. You don't know anybody there personally, but you were protected.
I was.
You were covered.
Yeah, the guy told me he was a talent executive. Obviously, I'm thinking, okay, he has connections. And the word executive, you have extensive connections, and I have no worries. He was pretty much a promoter, no connections. In that type of environment, you need a car, you need to know people.
Yeah.
He wasn't a muscle-bound guy, so I didn't fear him.
Yeah.
It would have been different if he was a big dude and things would have got, dicey. But I was like, me and this fool will tussle if it goes bad.
She's like, I'll give him a run for his money.
Yeah, so he knew that. He knew, don't play with me.
So what was his end goal? Like, what was it that he thought he was going to get out of that situation of being somewhat, we'll say, kind of scammy? Because absolute scammer and a thief and a liar.
I felt like he saw me as an easy lick.
Yeah.
I'm a woman, American. They think we are all just living lavish. And it's like, no, we have our struggles, but obviously very different from them.
Yeah.
And I think he just saw the money, the influx of money. And I didn't even have a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I had just enough based on what he's telling me. So I'm thinking the amount I have is more than enough. But I feel like he was paying his bills with my money instead of my living expenses, food. And it came to a point where the money was kind of low. I need to still get a flight back to America.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I get it. And I didn't panic. I cursed him out. And I said, okay, I'll be fine.
Gotta let God handle people like that.
Yes. And I got his name. I got his visa photo. I still have that information in my email.
So one last question about that topic. Anybody out there who potentially receives a random DM, random email, what advice would you give them? Because I ask you that because I just seen yesterday another artist that I know and I've interviewed a couple times. He posted online that he got scammed just recently out of $400 because someone sent him a random email and it ended up being a scam. And I always tell artists, be mindful of that. Any advice that you would offer?
I looked at his Instagram. His promoting was legit.
Yeah.
He was making moves over there, but I just didn't know. And I sent a lot of money, like $1,500 to get the process going. I still had to get my visa because a passport is not good enough. And I was just like, you knew all this, but you minimalized it. So I would just say don't go for it, especially now in 2025.
Yeah.
What happened to me was in 2023. And, I'm knowledgeable. I lived many places due to my mother being in the military. I lived in Germany twice, Hawaii. I've been around different cultures.
Yeah.
So I would just say don't fall for it. Unless you legit know somebody over there and you're connected, that's the only way, because you're not gonna be successful.
Absolutely. And my biggest advice I would give any artist out there is someone randomly hit your DM or randomly hit your email that they're wanting to work, but then they turn around and ask you for money. That's where you need to pump the brakes.
Right.
Because I feel like if they're reaching out to you, they seen something in you that makes them want to work with you, then why are they turning around asking you for money?
Yeah.
Like, I've never jumped in someone's DM and said, hey, come interview with me. But by the way, you got to pay me, So that's the biggest red flag. If they are looking for money from you and you don't know this person, that's where you need to pump your brakes.
Exactly.
Because chances are it's a scam.
Yeah. Lesson learned.
But in reality, though, a beautiful situation came out of it.
Yes. A great project, authentic. And I was in the heart of Lagos.
Yes.
And the energy, it's all in the EP when you listen to it. It's authentic. My producer that produced it, born and raised, he never left the continent. So no American influence besides what he can get off social media.
I love that you turned what could have been a terrible situation into a beautiful situation.
Yes. I was very upset when I got back because I'm like, I have to start over.
Yes.
I have this project. I still have to pay this guy, but I got it done. Now it's a matter of owning it.
It was a challenge, and you hit it head on. You went right through it, and you made it work.
Yes,
That's something to be proud of.
It is.
Because a lot of people would have folded in that situation.
Yeah.
They would have jumped right back on a plane and came back home.
Yeah,
You stuck it out.
Try not to be jaded. I was safe. That was my main concern, was my safety.
I agree with you 100%. If I was in the same situation, as long as I felt safe, I would have rolled it out as well.
Yes.
If you felt in danger, okay, boom, I got to get up out of here. But you felt safe, I feel like you did the right thing.
Yes, and where I was staying was kind of a favela type of environment, but I didn't go outside, obviously. I just stayed in the room all day, and the manager would check on me, and that's how I made it up out of there. He rode with me to the airport because my flight was at night. Oh. And I'm like, I'm not getting in the car with these men I don't know, and it's 10 o'clock at night. He said, I'll ride with you, make sure you get there.
Oh, that was dope.
So that was good.
Wow. Turned into a beautiful situation.
Yes.
So you mentioned wanting to launch a beauty and apparel brand.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Like, what kind of vibe or message are you wanting to represent through this brand?
I have some more, song singles that I would name my beauty brand after.
Okay.
When I release those records, you guys will hear about that. But I see a lot of, women launching brands. And it's kind of cliche, the beauty, the makeup, skincare lines. I want to dabble in a little bit of all of it and not just focus on one major conglomerate of it. And I feel like with this economy, things that are just reasonable, skincare, body wash, stuff like that, makeup. If it's not the whole beat foundation and everything, just certain lipstick, eyeshadows, apparel. Just dabble in a little bit of everything.
Yes, because I feel like that's something that's always going to be here.
Yes.
Every woman, not every woman, let me take that back, but most women like to wear makeup. There are some who, shout out to the ladies who can rock their natural beauty. I'm not there yet.
Exactly.
I do it on my day off. So when I'm not here, I don't wear makeup. But being on camera and stuff like that. But then also, skincare, things like that. Because, of course, we all, every second, we're aging. So we have to think about that. And then apparel, you want to look fly.
Yeah, you want to be confident. Something reasonable. I feel like there's a lot of, teenagers. Somebody turns 13, somebody's going into the 16-year-old age bracket, and they want to be popular.
Yes.
They want to fit in, and they want to be able to afford what everybody else has. So I just want to, think about it, write it out, and just dabble in a little bit of everything and include everybody. You don't have to have the aesthetic. That's another thing, the aesthetic that the girls want. That's not attainable. That's costly and dangerous. Regular girls, regular women. We need to get back to that, regular looking people in person.
And I don't ever knock nobody, do what you want, but I agree with you because I feel like so many women get themselves altered body wise that it has put a lot of pressure on these younger women to look that way. And realistically, they're never going to look that way naturally.
Right.
They can get close to it by going to the gym and eating right, but some of these super curvy, huge butts. It's just not attainable naturally.
Yeah, it's not realistic. And when you see some of these women in real life working regular jobs, it just looks ridiculous.
I agree. School teachers,
yeah, nurses. I'm like, what? Okay, what shift is she on? Because they get it done, and I know the male gaze is important for a lot of these women, but when you see these women working regular jobs with these giant hips, it's like the kids are staring, and it's like, my goodness,
because they know it's not normal. It's not natural to look that way. It looks very unnatural.
Yes.
If you do a little bit, like honestly, I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of this tummy taken out. I feel like that you can keep natural looking. I just don't have the money to go do it because I know it's very, very expensive, and it could be dangerous too.
Yes.
But let's be honest, ladies. I hear more and more and more men saying they like women natural, not a lot of makeup, natural bodies. I hear it often.
Yes. I think the men are very fugazi because they follow a lot of those women.
Yeah.
And
they're good to look at, eye candy.
Right. And I think that if you have daughters, and the daughters are wondering why do I look so different? Okay, mom had work done, and it's kind of starting a cycle.
Yes.
To where she, wants to turn 18, get this, and you're starting something you can't control, and you don't know how deep that dive is because we don't know what's a BBL is gonna be in 10 to 15 years. These women getting older. I already posted on Instagram. There's gonna be a lot of bedridden women walking around with that weight. I work in healthcare, and gravity is undefeated.
It's going to be a saggy mess.
Yeah.
And gravity, you're absolutely right. Because, like, I notice, at my big age, this are not sitting up like they used to, no matter how much you exercise. It's just, ladies, let's just age gracefully and naturally.
I agree. I think Father Time's favorite girl is vanity.
Yeah.
And she will still get left.
Yes, because I see some women who are like late 60s, 70s, and they are beautiful, naturally beautiful.
Yes.
You could tell that they're a little older, but they're just amazingly beautiful.
Yeah, they have sunshine from the inside.
Yes.
And social media is a gift and a curse, and you have to filter your mind.
Yes, I agree. 100. Yeah, we definitely got to filter our mind. Do you see fashion and music as an extension of the same creative energy for you?
Yes, I think fashion and music have always intertwined since the 90s. All the moguls of that era starting their clothing lines. Times have changed for some of these moguls, but
yes,
they definitely were the innovators. And I think now with these other major brands, you can just order offline based on your measurements. It's just so much easier, but I think there's going to be a shift with that as well, due to the pricing and people not doing the aesthetic surgery anymore. I think things are just about to change, and we don't know what direction it's going in. It's like, can you afford it? Do you have the self-esteem to carry it? And, what's going to happen years from now? So I think it has to be thought out. Everything is so microwavable. First it was the music, and everything else just became microwavable.
Absolutely, because even after you get that surgery, doesn't mean you can eat like crap and not go to the gym. You got to keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, you get liposuction, you have to lay a certain way. You can't bend down at a certain angle, and they're not being told that.
It's a lot, and women have lost their lives behind it, and it's not worth it. It's like, my goodness. Again, don't come for us.
Right, don't come for us.
Because we're not shading anybody by any means. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if I had the money, I'd probably go get me a little tummy tuck. I ain't gonna lie. But that would be the extent of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want injections in my face. I just want to grow gracefully, naturally older. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, I think there's going to be some type of psychological breakdowns when these women get older.
I agree.
And they can't inject anything, and the men have moved on, and men always say somebody turns 18 every day. Like, there's going to be some type of psychological problems long term.
And we have to accept that. It's so funny because just yesterday I had an epiphany. I was walking out of the grocery store, and I would say I'm 51, and I'm always transparent about my age. And there was a guy, I would say he was probably in my age bracket, maybe a couple years older, tried to, speak to me. And I had this epiphany. I was like, not many younger men try to hit on me anymore. And it's because I am middle-aged. I'm noticing that majority of the men that try to hit on me are my age bracket or older. And at first I kind of had a hard time with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, the younger, but I'm like, I'm not that, I don't want to date those younger men, obviously. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we just have to accept where we are in life.
Yes, I agree. I think it's the character of the man. Men follow what their friends are doing, good or bad or diabolical. And you just have to have confidence as a woman. You're going to get older. One day you're going to just wake up, be 25, wake up, be 30.
Yes.
And it's not, you can exit. That's the only way to stop the aging is if you exit.
Yes, and we don't want that.
Yeah, we don't want that.
So I love that. When can we anticipate a potential launch for the beauty and the apparel brand?
That's going to take time. I'm still releasing, my singles, still getting my name out there. It's in the back of my mind when it all comes together, when I get that push and everything just falls into place.
So how do you continue to, we'll say, reinvent yourself musically after so many years in the music business?
I like to stay inspired. I feel like we still have people like Beyonce. You look at the Kendricks, Drake, however you feel about those two artists. They've had a great run and versatility. I think everything is so repetitive. It's all been done. Nothing is new, but you still have to take the old, blend it with whatever you can come up with and just make it your own. And I think when people say, okay, she's a little more original than this artist, she has her own sound. They know exactly who you are when they hear your record. I mean, that's important.
Yes.
People hold on a little bit longer.
Right, because you're essentially branding yourself. You're branding your voice, your image, your everything. So you've been doing this for over 14 years.
Yes.
You've been doing it a long time.
Long time.
Over these 14 years, I'm sure you've had some valuable lessons. We just spoke on one.
Yes.
What would you say is the one lesson, though, that keeps you really grounded and yet still motivated to do this?
I would say, look at how the times have changed. Music it's put out differently.
Yeah.
The whole street team, that went away. Kind of spend time doing research. Look at some of these major independent artists and figure out, okay, they did it like this. What do I have to offer with my skills as a singer, a rapper? And you really just have to stay motivated because this is not guaranteed. Just because you're good at something, you're pursuing it, it's still not guaranteed to happen. So you have to stay motivated. Be around people that are making progress. And they might be at a higher level than you, but they're still in your corner and they know a little bit more. Because if everybody knows the same thing, nobody's going to move higher. So just be around people that have brain power, ambition, and they've accomplished things. They have a record like, this is what I've done. This is how I can help you. And that's the main thing, surrounding yourself with a great team of people. And you know a lot, but the people around you know way more.
Man, that's a great piece of advice because you're right. Most people, if they haven't done it, how are they going to help you get there?
Yes.
I can't help you make $1 million if I haven't done it myself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that is a great piece of advice. And I feel like staying around people, like you said, that are, even if they're at a higher level, they're in your corner.
Exactly. I feel like everybody is a life coach out here. And so many people are just trying to hold on to something and they get lost or they attach themselves to something that's not even authentic and real. And just depending on your age, it's like stay motivated within, kind of unplug every now and then, read a good self-help book, just stay motivated.
Yes, unplug, like get off of social media because I feel like we as humans are so heavily influenced.
Yes.
We use social media to find out the news and everything now. It's insane to me. Like I find out if someone passed away through social media. Like I don't even watch the news anymore, I'll be honest. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we can get so consumed with it that we have to pull away sometimes.
I agree. I saw somebody with the newspaper yesterday, a very elderly gentleman.
Aww.
He was sitting down reading the newspapers, probably in his 80s.
That's beautiful though.
And I was like, what a time that was. Yeah. Magazines and things like that. It forced you to engage.
Man, absolutely it did. And I'm not against where things are now. I just wish that some of the things that were still incorporated. But it's never going to go back there. Let's be honest.
Never.
I feel like at some point in time, it's going to be all digital currency. Money's not like physical form of money's not even going to exist. Maybe not in my lifetime, but I think it'll get to that point at some point.
Yeah, AI is becoming a thing, and they're bringing back, like, we see the Michael Jackson AI, Whitney AI. It's very, very odd, and it's looking more and more real.
It's almost creepy.
It's weird.
I seen someone say on Instagram, maybe it was just yesterday, and they're like, I don't even know what's real and what's not anymore. And I was like, me either. I'll watch a video and I don't even know if it's like AI or if it's real. And that kind of frustrates me a little bit.
Yeah, when I think AI and how dangerous it could be, I'm thinking political figures, the Dalai Lama, Mother Teresa, them coming back AI in certain parts of the world that are not as advanced, and what that can do to the minds of people.
Right.
If they don't even know, you know, America's a first world country, but the religious aspect, what people believe in, and you make their God an AI version, you don't know where that can go.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. How do you feel like you as a music artist, AI can help with what you got going on?
I mean, I think AI, you can, you know, chat with that automated voice and ask them certain things and they'll give you feedback. I think AI might be good for feedback, but as far as the music and these AI artists getting deals, and it's like, okay, do you watch them on a monitor for the tour? I mean, like, how is that gonna really help other artists? They're gonna have AI awards, like, what happens to real authentic artists with all this talent? I mean, we saw the Motown era, we saw the 90s, we just saw so much. So what does that do? I'm not really sure.
I could only imagine being an artist and seeing an AI artist landing a $3 million deal, how frustrating that's got to be. It's like, it's not even a human being, and it's a money grab though.
I mean, it's like not even a real person.
Yeah.
Generational wealth, it's all in the computer. So it's damaging far beyond than we can ever imagine. And if that's just one, I mean, if they do 75 and those artists become bigger than real live people, I mean, I don't know what that means.
It's almost scary. And I'll be honest with you, like, I love my life and I'm not ready to go anytime soon. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to be here for an eternity. When it's my time, it's my time, because it's almost scary to think about what's going to be going on in this world 100 years from now.
Yeah, I can only imagine. When I see elderly people in their 90s, I'm like, they saw so much.
Yeah.
They saw Barack become president. I mean, everything changed.
Yes.
They're getting help from their grandkids with using a MacBook. And so it's a blessing to get older, but it's like, my eyes have seen so much. You don't want to miss anything, but this is a little bit excessive.
It is getting to be excessive. Absolutely. So since the last time we had our conversation when you were here, between then and now, what have you been working on?
I've been in the studio and, you know, putting together more records, more anthems, and just keeping my social media presence active. I've been talking to Tony, the
shout out to Tony.
Yeah, Tony McLean of Architect Music Group, and he's working on a lot of things for us, you know, South by Southwest, and get ready to do shows and get on the road. But I've been in the studio because you got to have a catalog in case something takes off and people are requesting you. So I've just been in the studio writing, recording, and Off the Wall is the first single, and trying to choose which single is next and the treatment. And, you know, it keeps going. You always got to be making music, interviewing, letting people know, hey, I'm still out here.
Yes.
You know, you can go down memory lane. I always post up my Spotify, but, you know, still being out here.
I think that's the main thing, is just keeping everybody on the forefront of what you have going on. Like you said, doing stuff like this, continuing to post. Even if you're not necessarily doing shows and stuff, there's other things that you could be doing. Mic drop performances, you know, music videos. Let me ask you this. What's one off the wall thing about you that fans would be surprised to learn?
Let me see. I do like to, how can I say this? I'm very outgoing. Now, some people might, you know, I still work my 9 to 5. I have a certain personality there, but if you catch me just out and about, I'm social. I feel like people have their own cliques. As long as you're not a liar or a thief, we can hang out, we can talk. But I still believe if I'm going out, you know, people interacting together. Because I looked at what the club scene has become. Everybody's standing around. I'm like, dang.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so I still believe in dancing if I like a guy or, you know, we're vibing. Everybody's not a supermodel, but everybody's posted up like they're doing a photo shoot. So I'm outgoing. If we vibe and the attraction is there, we can dance depending on the song, but just being more outgoing.
I love that. I love that. You're absolutely right. Because, gosh, when we used to go out, we would be like, which guy am I dancing with tonight? And then they would close the night out with the slow jams and be like, who we going to slow dance with?
Yeah.
They don't do that no more.
Man, it's everything has changed. It's like, goodness, people, I know the economy has a lot to do with it, but you still got to have moments of fun.
Yes.
Never forget what joy actually was at one point. Because the pandemic set all of us back, but find moments of joy in little things.
Yes, absolutely. So we do have your song Off the Wall here loaded up and ready to go so we can let all of our listeners hear it. Before we get into it, where can everybody follow RedMic on all your social platforms?
You guys can follow me Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and streaming. Only RedMic. Only, and then RedMic. Very simple. You'll see my face. I don't have fake pages. And yeah, only RedMic.
Who do you want to give thanks to for loving you and supporting you through your journey?
I mean, you know, family can be something else, but I want to thank Architect Music Group because when I got back from Lagos, I was like, you know, where do I go from here? And we found each other. Architect Music Group found me and emailed me and saying, hey, you want to be a part of what we have going on? And me and him had many, many conversations. I'm not new to this. And I need people that know more than me.
Yeah.
I'm not a fool. I'm a woman. You know, I'll put in the work, but the connections has to be there because I can't keep doing the same thing and not seeing any results.
That's insanity.
Yeah. So Tony McLean, Architect Music Group, you know, we're working on some things and the music is there. And now strategy and planning.
I love it. So we got a lot to look forward to.
Yes.
From RedMic, most definitely. So let's go ahead and listen to the song so everybody can check it out if you can introduce it for us.
Yes, this is my new single. It's called Off the Wall. Obviously, you know, Michael Jackson's greatest album, Off the Wall. And I'm talking about life, joy, and holding on to your dreams.
I love it. Y'all stay tuned for it.
I'm off the wall, off the charts, better than Billie Jean. I might be outside, still on the winning team. They're robbing everybody, don't let them steal your dreams. Time is so expensive, it costs me everything. I'm off the wall, off the charts, better than Billie Jean.